are you? Happy New Year. Welcome and welcome back to another episode of E-Podcast, where we're turning wounds into wisdom. How's your week? How's your new year? Umeanzaje mwaka? Hoping uko fiti, kila kitu iko salama. How was your Christmas? Man, nilikuwa nimewahata. It's been a minute since I said welcome and welcome back to E-Podcast, where we're turning wounds into wisdom. Anywho's welcome. Leo niko peke yangu. I have no guest with me. Reason being, I just want us to start tukue na one-on-one talk. You get we strategize 2024. We know what we will do, what we're not going to do. Let's just strategize 2024 together. So, nikasema, why can't you be my guest today? Yeah, so you are my guest. It's my hope and prayer that you are having a good one. You are having a good one. Yeah. Mko fiti? Mimi niko poa. Niko poa, thanks for asking. Niko fiti. But comment down below how have you spent your leave a comment down below when you're watching this video. Let me know what is speaking to you. You get? Yeah, anywho's, don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about E-Podcast, and follow us on our socials. My handle ndio hii and E-Podcast bado ndio hii. Right now we are even on TikTok. So here we go, man. Here we go. Yeah, so tufuate tu kila mahali. You get? So if you're watching this today, you're my guest. In as much as you're not on camera, trust you me, in the comment section you're my guest. Where you're watching E-Podcast from, wewe ni guest wangu na bro mimi nakutambua. Guys, me big up to all E-Podcasts. Within a short period of time, you gave me 125 subscribers. Man, thank you very much to all the followers, to all the people who inquire about E-Podcast. Manze, I thank you so much. Man, thank you so much, Manze, for believing in me, for you being here itself, subscribing, telling a friend to tell a friend, to all the guests who have been here, man. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for supporting E-Pod and for believing in what I am doing. So before I even go further, let me take a sip. Last time marafiki zangu walikuwa wananiambia ati nilikuwa namaliza na hii drink. Kuna jua kali, lazima nikae nikisip drinks. But anywho's, let's get to the business. So as I said, today you guys are you're my guests. Sasa wewe ni guest wangu leo, hata kama yuko on camera. You're my guest, and for us to begin 2024, acha tu tukue tu na overview ya how we have performed, how 2023 was, na maybe what we are planning to do. What you're planning to do in how our 2023 was na kenye tuna plan kufanya 2024. Mnagich? Yeah. So, last year nilianza ku podcast hapo around September. So nimekuwa tu in this game for 4 months. And last year my mantra was everything happens with the permission of God. Me being here podcasting, it happened, it is happening, it happened, and it is happening with the permission of God. It's not that God does not know that sai nimeketi hapa na record something, ama sai nimeketi hapa vlog in and to iterate to quite a number of people, ama you who's viewing my podcast right now. God knows that you are here. God knows that I'm here, and it is by his permission that I'm doing this. So what if whatever thing that I managed to do within 2023 happened with the permission of God? Well, kama ni job nililose, kama ni business nilianza ikaniramba, kama I got into a relationship and then I had a breakup, ama I went somewhere, I did something, ata kama ni good or bad, it had the permission of God. God knew I was doing it. And imagine, I'm also carrying this mantra in 2024. It's not that I'm living it, because at the end of the day, everything happens with the permission of God. Alafu, there's a good friend of mine who keeps saying, accepting things as they come, it's so peaceful. Okay, accept tu vitu vile zinakam ni peaceful. Kwa sababu, even you accepting how things are coming, how things are finding you, ni permission ya God. See, it's not like, ati you are lucky, ama you're not lucky. Nah. God's permission. Yeah. Alafu tena, my other thing that I had in 2023, my other mantra was ni sawa tu. By the way, mimi kama kuna words nimetumia sana 2023, ni sawa. I'm such a ni sawa person. Kama umeni invite mahali, sawa, nitakam. Kama hujani invite no invite marafiki wangu wengine wote na mimi peke yangu ndio sijakuwa invited, ni sawa. Kama business yangu imefail ni sawa. Kama business yangu imeprosper ni sawa. Kama matatu imekuja nimesimamisha ikaniacha niko empty ni sawa. Kama you do not find me like I'm attractive enough to fit into your squad ni sawa. If you feel like I'm not up to your league ni sawa. Like ni sawa tu. What is the worst that can happen? Hakuna, ni sawa. Ni sawa tu. Like ni sawa. Yeah, so ni sawa, and everything happens with the permission of God kept me going in 2023. And am I going to drop these mantras? Not really. Tunaenda nazo kwa sababu this is life. We said we're adapting good things. Like we're taking good things to 2024. Na bad things tunaziacha in 2023. The bad thing that I think I'm gonna live in 2023 is being there. Manze, I've been available. Yani umekuwa available mpaka at times I end up regretting like mbona hata nilifanyia kitu. Why was I there available? Why am I just giving my time to people hata kama they do not deserve it ama they deserve it? Like I felt like I was too available. And honestly 2024 Alafu another thing that 2023 taught me is to own up my mistakes. Guy, mimi najua mimi ni dem na wasichana tuitikiange makosa, but I think I have to learn to own up my mistakes. Like nimefanya mistakes mingi alafu nasema najua ni mimi nimefanya but naruka na kani your story. So 2024 kama nimefanya kitu nitatikia nimefanya, na kama sijafanya sitiki, na kama nimefanya nilikuwa mbaya nitasema pole. If nimefanya na ikakuwa mzuri, imekuwa mzuri vile iko imekuwa. Yeah. So my keywords of 2024, number 1, what is mine will find me. And I feel like let us all adapt to these things. What is mine will find me. If at all umeapply hizo jobs mingi na hakuna yenye umeitwa interview, ama umeitwa interview but they did not call you, that was not yours. What is yours will find you. Be it you want to start up a YouTube channel, ama you want to start vlogging, ama you want to be a content creator, alafu unapata within a short period, like within a long period of time hujapata any endorsement, maybe those endorsements are not meant for you. What is yours will find you. The brands that you want to work with, the gigs that you want, what is yours will find you. So until you find what is yours, don't stress. Like ni sawa tu. Ajua maji yakimwagika yazoleke. Alafu my mom tells us a lot, like ukienda kwa mto alafu unachotanga tu maji yenye unahitaji, hiyo ingine inapitanga. So wewe kutowork na brands zenye you working with ama working for, kama zimekupita, that was not your water. Maji yako yenye ulichota, brands zenye uliwork nazo, hizo ndio zilikuwa zako, hizo zingine hazikuwa zako, ni za mtu mwingine. So what is mine will find me. Again, if this content creation ama this vlogging is my thing, the followers will find me, the subscribers will find me. If it is not my thing, first of all I'll get tired, nitakuwa too fatigued, nitakuwa nafikiria like leo ni siku yangu ya kushoot, all of a sudden I'm not interested. Why? It's not because I'm lazy, it's because it's not mine. You get? Yeah. What is yours? Like, and I feel like I said this in my second episode. Was it my second or my third episode of ePod? I was alone. Nekasemanga, whatever you want is on the other side of fear. What is yours will find you. Let me tell you one thing. And where your heart is, that is exactly where your treasure is. And what is yours will find you. This basically means that mali passion yako iko, that is exactly where your treasure is. So if your passion is in music, trust you me, your treasure is there in your music. And that's what I'm saying, what is yours will find you. All you have to do is work hard, believe in yourself, alafu tell God to take the lead. Tell God to go before you. Like make sure that plans zako na za God zina align. Because God might be calling you to do something else, alafu wewe sasa kuna vile sasa unataka kuambia God. I think no. In as much as what is yours will find you, let's just have a listening skill of, in as much as this is what I want to do, what does God want me to do? You get? And then what is yours will find you, basically. Alafu number 2. Me I'm learning to say no. Let me take a sip. Me I'm learning to say no. Hey. Let me take a sip to all the yeses that I said in 2023. that I was available for people and then the same people are not available for me. Plus, I was not doing it I wanted to be available for them in as much as they're not available for me. I'm taking a sip because hizo yeses zote zenye nilisema zikani embarrass. 2024, I'm learning to say no. I'm learning to say no, guy. Like, I read somewhere, saying no means you know your limits and boundaries. Yeah, you know your limits and boundaries, and it's not bad to say no. Actually, it's just good to speak up your mind. Kwa sababu I end up saying yes to a lot of things. I end up pleasing people. Alafu mimi mwenyewe naumia, nabaki nikiumia juu I said I was just available. I was there for people. Let me take a sip for saying no. No. Yeah. So okay, 2024. I'm learning to say no. Like, mtu ananiambia nifanye kitu na honestly genuinely najua first of all sijui kufanya hiyo kitu, ama niko like what if niseme no alafu akasirike. Siko baya, but let me just take care of myself. Like, I feel like saying no is a form of self-care. Kwa sababu sijui kufanya hiyo kitu, ama najua kufanya hiyo kitu but sina hiyo mood ya kufanya, ama tu sijisikii kufanya, ama I just feel like I should not do it in as much as I know how to do it because you are my friend, ama because you are my buddy. No. Being too available. No. I know. No. Alafu tena, ojo no, it's just a boundary. Like, boundaries baby. Boundaries. No. Being too available to people. Like, unajua tu, if somebody is inviting you something last minute, but I just say no because if they wanted to, they would have invited me way earlier when they were inviting other people. But I'm here saying yes. Ati ndio mtu asisikie vibaya. Na mimi already deep down nasikia vibaya the fact that nabebwa kama third wheel. No. No to seeing, like, my friends have nails already. Alafu mimi Veronica, I know very well I do not have the money to make my nails. Mimi ndio hiyo naenda kufuliza. Ati ndio nitengeneze nails juu marafiki zangu wako na nails. No. Mimi kutengeneza nails ama having my makeup because all my squad kila mtu ako na makeup and deep down I don't feel like doing it. Yes, kuna positive influence but kuna negative influence. No. No to replying all the DMs. No to sijui lazima ushike tu phone calls za kila mtu. No. Yeah. Alafu another thing that I saw, in fact this one I saw today, no may be uncomfortable but it will make you free. Wacha niwashow guys, kuna incident ingine hapo ilifanyika last year. Nilipigiwa simu usiku na hiyo the whole of that week I was so occupied and it was on Saturday, but nilikuwa nimebeats. Saturday the following day nilikuwa of course niende church morning, but kwa hizo harakati nikapigiwa simu before nilale, nikamwambia kesho utakuja usimamie mtu kama msimamizi wake. Mimi na kiherehere yangu nikasema yes. Of which hata after your phone call niko like akimbona nilisema yes. Ningesema tu no. Huyu mtu mwenye naambiwa ni stand up for simjui, sijawahi muona. Long story short, I end up not standing up for that person and the person who called me was so mad. Guys, I could have just said no. Like, being no ingeni free from a lot of things. The whole of that day I was like, sasa verouh ulisema tu utakuja lakini hata you did not show up for that person. Na ungesema tu no, and that person honestly depended on me. First of all, I woke up late, so the appointment itself nilienda late na ndio mimi nilipigiwa simu. Hata najiambianga tu verouh ungesema tu hapana. Like, hakuna kitu what there was that could have happened ukisema no. Hakuna. Ningepelekwa hakuna. Ningesema tu no. So no to a lot of things. No to social media pressure. No to societal pressure. Ati by 25 a person should be, I don't know, something. I cannot kill myself to satisfy the needs of the society. So no. Yeah. No. And then, yeah, basically those are just my words. Alafu there's this word that I was taught. In fact, it's not a word, it's like a phrase that I was taught. Vile mambo ya kusema tu mambo yao hiyo. And big up to Irene taught me this one. Like, hiyo ni mambo yao. Like, if I'm not kitu ijani husisha, si lazima nikuwe na maoni. Like, hiyo ni mambo yao. So the fact that sijui kitu ime happen, yes nimejua story alafu mtu ananiuliza maoni, like sina maoni, na bro hiyo ni mambo yenu hiyo. So mambo yenu hiyo. Yeah, guys, I keep feeling so pretty. Mambo yenu hiyo. Yeah. If I'm not involved, if at all it was not meant to reach me, mambo yenu. Like mambo yenu is a phrase that I'm adapting in 2024. Like hiyo ni mambo yao. Mimi hata si kwa hapo wakikosana, mimi si kwanga hapo break up, alafu tena all of a sudden I want to have big ears for me to hear everything. Mambo yao hiyo. Alafu I'm learning to say no. And then what is mine will find me. Everything happens with the permission of God. And I feel like before we even now continue to the other part of this pod, in 2024, for e-podcast, our word, the phrase that we used a lot was, there is a future for me. And this comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 18 to 19. It says like this: there is a future for me, and my hope will not be cut off. And then it continues like, listen, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way of the Lord. That is what kept e-podcast in 2024. That is what moved me in 2024. And every guest that came here, my second episode of a podcast, we're talking about the power of consistency. And every guest that came here, every time we got nasema tu, there is a future, of which there is a future for us, and our hope will not be cut off. Vitu ziongezwe bei zifike kitu nyata tujaisikia. Unga leo sijui ni 200 and something. Kesho ikiamka ikiwa 1000. We will still eat, we will drink, we will sleep. Passport ziongezewe bei. Kila kitu ikwe expensive. Right now maybe uko na missing marks shule, uko na ball, na hata baby daddy hataki kusikia stories zako. There is a future for you. There is a future for us. There is a future for me, and our hope will not be cut off. You losing hope, you contemplating suicide and living in despair is not the solution. The fact that you're jobless right now does not mean you'll not prosper. You might be looking for a job, but maybe even God is calling you to entrepreneurship. God is calling you to be your own boss. You never know. You might be looking here a job hapa kwa hii country yetu, but God is calling you to work in some other countries, God knows where. So do not just limit yourself. There is a future for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Listen, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way of the Lord. God says, we read in the book of Psalms that delight yourselves in the Lord, and he will fulfill all your heart's desires. Do not just leave. Leo kwa preaching yetu, the priest, well, I'm Catholic of course, priest mwenye alikuwa kwa Christmas alikuwa alituambia nini? Alituambia the failing to believe in God is the biggest danger in life, kwa sababu you'll believe in everything. Kwa hii generation yetu sana ukisema ni God, watu wanasemanga sasa, sijui kama ni ukisema ni God watu wanakuwa na sasa ni kama uko Illuminati ama sijui vile kunaenda, but delight yourself in the Lord, and he will fulfill all your heart desires. Right now, of course, I tell you, there's a place that I want to be by the time the year ends, of course. Now, your place where I want to be before this year ends, I'm just telling it to God. Honestly, I do not even know my tomorrow. I do not know my future, but God knows. And we read Jeremiah 29:11, for I know well the plans I have for you. So delight yourselves in the Lord. There is a future for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Just listen to the voice of God. Tell the silliest, the tiniest things to Jesus. Unaona before ulale time tu unakanga kwa kitanda unaanza ku overthink. Imagine overthink, but at the end of overthinking, ambia to God, like, in as much as God I'm overthinking and I'm having all these thoughts, I'm giving them to you, and you have a sleep. Just in as much as you're overthinking, ukimaliza ku overthink sasa summary overthinking, let it be a prayer and tell God, in as much as God I'm overthinking right now, sijui kuna black tax, niko na mtoto shule, maybe nimeanza sasa kuishi peke yangu, or nataka nywele yangu itengenezwe, nataka kukaa hivi, nataka kununua hii, nataka kuvaa hii. At the end of all that, and you're telling God like, na hii salary yangu hata hizi tosha, maybe hata sina job lakini nataka kufanya kila kitu. Tell God. Are we together? Yeah. Summary, tell God, delight yourselves in the Lord, and he will fulfill all your heart desires. There is a future for you, and your hope will not be cut off. So before niendelee, comment down below. So what kept you in 2023? Maybe the words that ulikuwa unatumia sana in 2023, be it gratitude, be it prayer. Kuna watu wengine walisema 2023 I'm just praying. Leave a comment down below. Be it gratitude, be it physical fitness, be it work hard, be it end femicide KE, be it, I don't know, save up money, like girl stock up or something. So yeah, I'm sorry we had to change like the lenses of the camera kwa sababu content creation is not easy. So let's get to the other part of ePod. Number 1, the mission of ePodcast. Basically, this podcast is to inspire, you get, to here we're choosing growth over perfection. So whether you're going to start a business, si lazima ikuwe perfect business you just started the other day. Growth over perfection. It's the small steps that count. A journey to 1 million miles begins with a single step. So growth over perfection. Yeah, it's just to inspire, to motivate, to elevate. Woman evolve. Boy child, you're not forgotten. You get? Yeah. Alafu nilikuwa nimesema before, for 2024, 2023, what kept ePodcast is Proverbs 23:18. There's a future for me and my hope will not be cut off. And I feel like for ePodcast, I'm a temple girl. We cannot just lack a word of God that will have to keep us for this year. And ePodcast, I told you, comes from Esther-ish. ePodcast, you get. So what's the Bible verse that is keeping us in 2024 is Esther 4:14. It talks about you were born for such as time as this. And for if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise from the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this, So basically when Esther got married to the king, see watu wao walianza ku the people where she came from walianza ku perish because Esther is Jewish. And so Mordecai was, and so this word of God came about because Esther alikuwa anaambiwa, if you do not stand up for your people, kwa sababu Esther, like through Esther her people were saved. Her people did not perish. Her people were not in peril, neither were they in war, just because of Esther. So Esther again was like, you are born for such times as this, because right now your people are perishing. They need you to save them. So right now maybe your family is going through financial constraints. Ndio maana wewe ulizaliwa kwa familia, you become the first millionaire, billionaire of that family. Maybe in your family kila mtu ana struggle na addiction. You were born for such times to stand, like, in as much as my whole family, everybody ako na hii addiction, nobody's prospering, nothing seems to work out. That is where you were born, honey. You are not, it was not a coincidence. You get? So maybe kampuni yenyu hakuna growth ina happeningi. You were born for such times. Maybe this country, like mnaona vile kinaturamba sahi, like everything is so bloody expensive, like things are not affordable anymore, soko ni chafu. Marriages hazikai, watu tu wanaachana left, right and center. Maybe you were born for such times as this. Wewe ndio maybe utaredeem. You make people believe like you make people believe that marriages work. You make people that believe that businesses are thriving in this country. You make people believe that passport yako iko na capability ya kustampiwa in all the countries of the world. You were born for such times as this. Maybe your friends kila mtu ni kapombe, kila mtu ako tu hapa. You were born for such times as this, to tell people that, yo, in as much as this thing is happening, we have what it takes to change the thing. We have what it takes to deliver people from whatever things that they are going through. You were born for such times as this. So unataka ku give up alafu, yeah. So that is a mantra for 2024. We were born for such times as this. Alafu to educate. Hapa tu sisi tuna learn. I mean, I'm learning, and let me tell you guys, from all the people who have come to this podcast, right now nikuanga naangalia analytics zangu, and I have like I've surpassed the 1,000 mark ya viewership, total viewership. And let me tell you one thing, more than the 1,000 people who have come across me or any of my guests here, I'm the first convert of e-podcast. I'm not going to lie. Right now, I'm not the same way that I was in December when I was recording. I'm not the same way I was in September last year. Man, I have learned. When people here talking, like, unajua kwanza mimi ndio nazisikia kwa sababu, again, when I'm going to edit, nasikia tena. Me, I was this. Say niko hapa. Enlightenment ya friendship, in as much as akina Ima and Virgil, we are ever together most of the time, but the fact that tunakuja hapa na we're talking sensible things to a lot more people, like we're talking to more people. Let me tell you one thing, those words like get to me. I'm not even going to lie, and that is why again most of the time I do not talk about negative things, because I don't want to be intoxicated by the negativity of the world. So the positive words that people speak here have made me grow so much. Like I've grown. This is not the Veronica that was here nikianza ku podcast. This is a new bail. Mimi ni bail mpya, and thanks to all to all the guests who have been here before. Man, may God bless you. Yeah, thank you so much. And number 1, to educate. Number 2, to entertain. Asisi tuko tu hapa kujibamba. I'm still a young girl. I'm finding myself. I'm growing my niche. I'm still trying to figure out in life. Like I'm still trying to answer the questions in life. Mbona marriages in a breaking as much as I want to get there. I'm still learning. I'm still here to entertain myself. Mimi niko tu hapa kujinice. And I hope pia jibambe in as much as you're listening to me, and of course kuna vitu una pick 1, 2, 3. I hope you have fun. This life has no manual. This life is for living. We only have one life to live. So tukijiwest na hii hakuna chance ingine. You get? Yeah. And so comment down below nini what part of this podcast speaks to you. And before I finish, because I'm wrapping up, there are things that I would want you guys to answer for me. Number 1, what will you want to see more on this podcast? Nini maybe unataka kuniona na makeup sana. Imagine, comment down below what will you want to see more on this podcast. Maybe who would you even want to see. Maybe nataka kuwa na mpoa wangu, nataka kuwa na mama yangu, nataka kuwa na siblings zangu. Like I've brought here my sister. We're only 3. My brother, story for another day. If at all you want to see also my male friends, just leave a comment. Who do you want to see more? What do you want to hear? And I hope that in as much as right now naongeanga kuhusu mental health, ama nikiwa ileta hapa mtu wa mental health, I do not necessarily mean you start therapy. What I mean is the way we are talking, I just hope that there is something that you just pick from every topic that we tackle on this podcast. Yeah, and if at all therapy finds you, imagine just go for therapy. Talk to somebody, be a listener. You get, be listened to. Yeah, like unload your chest. Yeah. And finally, what do you want to hear? Unataka kusikia nini? Unataka kusikia stories za mapenzi, unataka kusikia stories za pesa, financial growth, unataka kusikia how to start up a business, the kind of businesses that you will want to start, how to vocation. Maybe you are just listening to me, unasema, oh, I'm going through a heartbreak. Maybe God is calling you to join the seminary or a convent. What would you want to hear? Yeah. And finally, what and how can I modify this podcast to be of use to you? What can I modify this podcast to be of use to you? What do you want to see more, in short, on this podcast? What do you want to hear? Maybe unataka ni change vile na edit videos. You want to change the way I make my intros and my outros. What will you want to hear? Yeah. Please leave a comment down below on the things that you want me to improve on my podcast. Maybe the way I dress. Maybe you want to see me on makeup, but I prefer my face natural. Maybe you want to see me nikiwa outdoors. Maybe you want to see like full length of the outfit every time. Just tell me. Leave a comment up down below. And again, if at all you want to be part of this podcast, ama maybe unaweza hata penda kutukwe tuna host na wewe, just tell me. Ama ndio hii email yangu na WhatsApp number. Just tell me, drop me a text ama an email. I'll definitely read and respond. Yeah. Until then, soda yangu imeenda wapi? Acha nikunywe. Oh. Yeah. Ni tamu. I'm sorry guys, nimechange frame kwa sababu nimechange tu kidogo. Yeah, this one looks better. I'm sorry nimechange camera position, but hope you can see me, hope you can get me. Yeah. Until then guys, do have yourselves a wonderful week. I promise you this is the last time that you'll hear me say Happy New Year. So by the time you are viewing this, ataka you much. Probably you'll miss this episode. Alafu you catch me on my next episode. I'm not going to say Happy New Year kwa sababu sisi tume move on. Yeah, but I'm recording this on the last Sunday of January, but you'll see it of course on the first Friday of February. How's that? Month ya mapenzi, and then you're seeing me. Is that not a sign? It is a sign. Anywho, guys, let me wrap it up. Thank you so much for loving what you're doing. I hope this podcast speaks to you. Remember to tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe, guys. Give me the numbers. Ni free. Nuggets. Yeah, give me the numbers. Ni free. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Remember to follow podcast on our socials, Instagram, TikTok. And then your email yangu na number. If at all you want to be part of this podcast, ama you have something that I should know, ata kama ni anonymous message, just tell me. Promise I'll hide your ID. Yeah, until then, do have yourselves a blessed week. Do have yourselves a nice February. Do have yourselves a nice 2024. Jibambe, jirushe, learn. Yeah. Until next week. Bye. Kwaheri.